I'm going to start off with a few of the trends for fall, and if some of you saw the fashion show last week, you've already heard the trends, so I'm going to change. So, here we go. Colors, it's about Bordeaux. So it's wines, it's plums, it's rich reds, and lady chic. And lady chic, finally we are even seeing the contemporary vendors who are usually way out there that have nothing to do with ladylike. Even the contemporary people are talking lady chic. My daughter that's anything, I mean, she tends to be maybe a little bit on the trendier side, is talking about, I would love a tweed jacket, a ladylike, and all the pearls and opulence. So it's kind of fun. Color blocking. Color blocking can be anything from what we traditionally think of as color blocking of a sweater that has 3 colors in it or 2 colors in it, and it's a dominant division. But today, color blocking is also seen in where a pant, it has a bright color, a jacket has a color, and then the top has the 3rd color to it. So it's not broken up in just a single piece, it's broken up within the outfit. There's a lot of fur. Fur for fur on gloves, fur on jackets, fur hats, fur sweaters, fur everything. Leather, lots of leather jumpers, leather pants, trims of leather, leather on capes, leather on high school, and St. Gregory's College, and then went on to finish up at OSU. Kathi began her career almost by accident. She was in school with hopes of working as a counselor and facilitator with mentally and physically challenged children. In her senior year, in a sorority philanthropic project, she joined a radio takeover for charity where the girls were on the air as guest DJs to raise money for various causes. It was then the manager of the Stillwater station offered Kathi a career in radio, just 1 week after graduation. Kathi had planned on working toward a PhD, but thought in the interim, radio would be a fun way to pay the bills. Years later, she's still at it. Her credits include positions at KFOR TV, KYIS FM, radio, and Magic 104, as well as KOMA and KRXO radio stations as well. Her most recent position is the top-rated station 101.9 The Twister. It is where she is the producer and morning co-host of Joe Friday and the Yeager Show, which is also just happens to be the top-rated morning show in Oklahoma City. The most important thing to Kathi Yeager is her faith in the Lord. People have often described Kathy's personality as bubbly and energetic, and with 3 children and a husband who she adores and an incredible position in the community, she is more full of life than ever and feels the best is yet to come. Today, Kathy's program is entitled, Why Not You? Welcome, Kathi.
Thank you, and thank you all so much. I appreciate being invited to come and talk today. You'll have to excuse my weird limping. I pulled my muscles in my back over the weekend, moving furniture in my house. Part of that quote-unquote energy that my company always says I'm described as being energetic. It's also described as annoying to my husband, who was like, honey, I'll take care of it when I get home. Sure, I'm not waiting. And of course, moving furniture on my own, so forgive me for the limp that has now cost me a few weeks apparently in physical therapy. So I'm excited to be here today. A lot of times when we get a chance to get together as women, we get to spend time talking. But like in any other environment, when women get together, we also start experiencing and sharing the experiences that we have that pretty much often make us feel really burdened as women. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on women's shoulders today. So a day like today is really special because we can get together, we can shop, and we can really do things, for ourselves, pay a little attention to ourselves. And often, I don't think a lot of us get that time. So this morning, I thought it would be kind of fun in comparing what we love in fashion. And by the way, the fall trends sound like they are going to be fabulous, because how many of us just love looking for new ways to reinvent ourselves often with fashion. And every once in a while, when the pearls and the beautiful tweeds, as you mentioned, come together, that gives us that sense of who we are. We are stylish, we are women, and we are important. Let me tell you how important. I put some little gift certificates on the chairs just for some fun, little extras for you, for just to have fun with. But it's also a part of what I'm talking about today, getting back to basics. And I think a lot of times women, because we carry so much burden on our shoulders, some of us work. I know that for many years, my husband says, okay, we're on child number 3, you ready to stop working? And for me, it's become such a passion that it's hard to separate and stay home. So I have the blessing of going to work at like 5 in the morning while my kids are still sleeping, and by the time I get home, they're coming home from school, and it is a wonderful balance for me. Others stay home all day, and they have other burdens and challenges of keeping the house and helping in the community, and quite frankly, raising kids that are going to be great leaders for our country in the future, in this next generation. Lord knows we need it lately. So I thought, getting back to basics is more about us thinking as women that instead of looking at our situation as there's so much on our shoulders, taking it in as an attitude of gratitude. Look what we get on our shoulders. We get this beautiful privilege of raising children and a wonderful opportunity to work in the community and be a part of things. And that's kind of the message I hope to leave today, because that's what I had to do. Several years ago, I was a very shy person. I know it's kind of strange, but it wasn't so much I was shy because I was one of those kids that grew up shy. I grew up very eager to go to school and make new friends, but I had a mom who came here from another country. And she was not familiar with the ways here, and often would dress me, the kid with dark skin, curly hair, and the unibrow, in gaucho pants and send me off to school. And, you know, gaucho pants can be cute, but every once in a while when you're wearing hand-me-downs from, oh, I don't know, your mom's closet from the late 60s, it probably is not going to make you the most popular kid in class. So there was this period of time I became very shy. And it was more because I thought, there's something not jiving here. I have so much in common with these great kids that I love being around, but instead I'm not really fitting in. So there was this need to sort of introvert and observe so that I didn't get hurt. And for years it was like this, and then I kept thinking, I want to be just as involved and overcome this. Well, you can't really overcome much about a unibrow and gaucho pants, but it was more about making the decision to be confident, no matter what you were wearing, no matter how you dressed. And it was getting back to the basics of who I am inside. So as a teenager, that's exactly what happened. Something just clicked, and it was, I am going to reinvent myself and let these people see who I am, instead of being shy because I don't seem to dress exactly the same way everyone else does, or my skin's a little bit darker, and I have this really curly hair, which, by the way, I've grown really long at this age. I should have short hair, but if you saw what it was like, short. Big old black, Rosanna Dana, from some of you remembering from way back in the day. So, but it was one of those things, I had to just choose to do it. Years later, I heard somebody speaking on that, when you decide about things in life, it's a choice. For instance, love. We love the way we feel when we're in love, but isn't it a choice to maintain that love even when times are tough? Why isn't it the same with about who we are and the way we present ourselves? That's a choice. Well, I didn't seek this career, as you mentioned. It was really interesting. I was having fun with friends and raising money, and when it came about that I was offered a job, I thought, okay, well, it's better than waiting tables to make a little bit of money, but I'm still going for my goal of PhD. I'm going to maintain that dream. But then in the course of things, that dream shifted, and it provided an opportunity to try and experience a whole new life and career that I hadn't even planned for myself. It was a little harder to explain that to my parents, that all that money we spent, 2 different colleges, trying our best with a master's. Well, I think I'm going to change gears after I graduate. So it was a little tougher sell. But what happened was I ended up finding that with something like that, it was a blessing to be able to enjoy that, but use it as a pedestal to get to know women in a different way than I ever had before. Men and women, of course, but to relate to people. And I thought it was interesting that over the course of my experience in that, I never interviewed for a job. One thing that was fascinating to me, in every job that I had, it seemed like, early on especially with women were the sidekicks. You want to be in radio? You're just going to laugh when the host says a really funny joke. And that was a woman's job in radio early on. And it was, to me, again, not enough. It was that decision that came back into my mind that, but there's got to be more. So much like overcoming shyness and with the unibrow and the gaucho pants, I was going to be as involved as I could. I also, in radio, decided, no, it's not, I can't be just satisfied with this. So again, making that decision to be really confident. And finding the key to any job is like finding the key to just relating to people. And that is giving everybody else the opportunity to have what they want and showing your heart for service and helping them attain their goals. In the process, you'll attain your goals. It's like the golden rule, over and over and over again. I had just a really rich experience of doing what I thought was more helpful to the team than doing what I thought would help me get to the top. And I never had one job interview. I was offered a job each time. While I was in Stillwater, Channel 4, I did something with our station that they noticed. I was offered a job there. While I was there was another radio station that offered me another position, and so forth. So I thought it's more about going back again to the basics, the golden rule, and doing what you can for others, and that will help us get what we want in the process. Because isn't it basically, what we all want? We would really like to do what we can to try to always get those goals, get them in focus. But if you're stepping on somebody else to get there, it just won't work. It's when we help each other get there that we can attain the goals that we really need. One of the things I thought was kind of interesting in the course of things, we had to make a decision early on. Do we want to survive, or do we want to succeed? And surviving seems to be one of the natural things many of us do. We'll go to work, we'll do the best we can, we go home, we make dinner, we help the kids with their homework, get them ready for bed, and then it starts over the next day. But what about even in our marriage relationships or our friendships? Do we just survive, or do we succeed? We make that decision that is the goal we are seeking in everything we do, and that's to take it to the next level. It's all about the attitude, I find, that we have. And when we set our attitude less on, oh, I can't believe I have this to do, or, oh, why is my husband such a moron? It's like, if only he knew. Why do I have to tell him every time? It's about the attitude we have of gratitude. And that's so cheesy. You hear it all the time, the attitude of gratitude. But it seems to be the way we think about what we're doing. If we have a better attitude about it, it doesn't seem like a burden at all. And then we approach it differently, and the people around, it becomes contagious. They seem to approach their experience with you differently. And it really is such a blessing when we can all approach it from that direction. Somebody once compared it to the Dead Sea. It's kind of like when we each want to just do for ourselves. We each want something that's going to give us gratification. It's like the Dead Sea. When we take in, it stays there. It's stagnant. It does very little. But like the River Jordan, for instance, it takes in, but it gives out. Let's see how it thrives. That's who we are as people. It's when we can serve and do and be there and do our best to give others, even when it feels like, oh, maybe that's just going to be too much. Often it's that's going to return to you in such a major way. And I found that through my whole career, that it's when I have done my best to approach something with that attitude that it seems like we just keep taking the next level. So it's been fun to, see how that works in a career, but now with kids, it's a different balance. I say to myself often, oh, how am I going to fit it in? I've got to work, I've got to go to their projects, I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. But when I stop and really take a look at that attitude, again, less about complaining about what I have before me, but thinking about how I can achieve it and still convince the people around me, that this is something we can, do as people of service. We all have that great attitude, the PTO moms. I have never heard such griping in one group. And then I find that it's easy for me to fall into that. But when you stop and think, okay, wait, what if we all get together and we rethink how this can be such a benefit to our kids in the long run, or how this can be, it's just a different attitude that grows among people. And it becomes sort of contagious, again. So the long and the short, when I get a chance to go and talk with folks and be around people, sometimes I'll have it, well, no, isn't it kind of fake that when you're going through challenges, you're just going to smile all the way through it? That what you're really doing is reprogramming, retraining your own mind, your own thinking. And the more you convince yourself in the way you speak to yourself, and granted, sadly at this stage of life, I do a lot of talking. Sometimes by myself in the kitchen where my kids are like, Mom, are you talking to yourself? That's kind of weird. But what you find is the self-talk is going to program your mind to do exactly what you say. The more we complain and we gripe and, oh, it just feels like it's going to be one of those days. Well, of course you're going to have one of those days. You've told your mind, that's the kind of day I'm going to have. But when we spend time saying, oh man, I bet we can take this to a different level. I bet what I think is going to be miserable is going to be fantastic. This morning I got up and I could barely walk. And I said, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew. And it's not like me to go anywhere without wearing high heels. I said to myself, wow, I am going to be able to stand up and not sit home feeling sorry for myself because my back hurts. And I'm going to enjoy today, doggone it. I get to go over to their store and there's 20% off. Are you kidding me? And food, stop it. And all it was what I told myself. And it felt different. I got up. And quite frankly, it was interesting because though I'm not jumping like I might normally through the crowd, it was very easy for me to start feeling what I was telling myself. So it's not fake at all. It's daily telling yourself in a positive way what's going to make the difference today. How can today be better? And you will believe what you tell yourself. And that's how your day will go. And that is how I believe it has been with very little effort on my part. I have been blessed to go through radio and TV to the point I am, and I have yet to sit down and ask somebody for a job. I think it is for me a faith issue also that when you set your mind to doing the best you can for anywhere you work, for your home, for your marriage, even when on the average you might consider it a burden, but you tell yourself it's for the benefit of the total goal, I think God provides a way. And that is what has been so exciting for me to see. For me personally, but what is magic when you can do it on a daily basis for yourself, it is something that just reprogramming your mind, making sure to have gratitude more than anything, rather than when it feels more natural to quickly feel the anxiety of whatever is before you. It always plays out and gives you a better experience. So just as I guess, a quick end to talking about what I feel most everyone already probably knows, but as an encouragement, as a reminder, as us gals, when we get together, we should do for one another at all times, and that's edify each other and lift each other up. Just remind yourself on a daily basis to what you may see before you, not as an easy task or a day that's more full than you would want it to be, is to stop and think, okay, but let's look at the blessing in it, how we can make it better, and be appreciative that, wow, where we are right now could be a whole lot worse. It's 9 times out of 10 going to be a lot more of an incredible experience that even may surprise, you know, us at the end of our day. And it's a great example for the next generation, our kiddos, to see as well. I know that going into radio, sometimes, you know, we have the privilege of being around a lot of people and doing a lot of different things, TV as well, that maybe there are some questions. Donna mentioned if anybody was curious about anything in regards to what we do for our living, that I am so very happy to answer any questions as well. I do my best to try and answer, I guess, where it's not 30 minutes long. So if anyone has any questions at all for me, I'm certainly happy to answer today. One thing also, by the way, to getting back to the little black dress, living sort of, I guess, in a world where you're constantly being fed that you're not good enough because you don't have this or because you don't look like this, it's, again, that back to basics, that that attitude of just staying positive allows. And that's, you know, kind of reminds me of the little black dress analogy. Many of us have our favorite dress in the closet, or many of us are going to purchase that today. But it's never feeling like you have to be something for anybody else, because what each of us are, something so unique and so special, and created very specifically for that. The gifts, the talents, the personality, the appearance, everything that you have. So it's not worth trying to be like anybody else. It's definitely doing your best at being the best you can be. And I think that, for me, I have found has been the bottom line. I don't always do it well, but we definitely try. So if there's any questions, I am happy to answer. Otherwise, I just thank you all so much. I'm sorry I'm partially not really 100% here today, but it's still just a pleasure to be around women. Enjoy your little goodies that simply are just one little treat. I know we have Thanksgiving coming up, so maybe some of those rolls would be good. And just maybe if you can just have some fun, maybe take some time for yourself, do something with someone special, so you can remember how special it is that you are, and the fact that you got to come today, it says a lot about what you want to do for yourself, and that's awesome. So thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.